Hi, I'm Marina. Thank you for coming back to my channel, especially to my one subscriber. Love you. Today I want to be talking about Supernatural and specifically the most hated seasons and what I think is a criminally underrated season and the season that I most disliked and why. So I don't know why I'm talking about Supernatural now when it's been over, like that show ended years ago. Sort of recently, like, well, what was it when it ended? 2021 or something? I think so, right? Like 2020, 2021. Um, but I was just starting to watch it again. Well, I didn't just start to watch it. I started watching it again a while back, and I just finished season 7. I started season 8, and I guess I just wanted to revisit the seasons because I don't know, I just finished The Boys, and that was kind of a nostalgic mood with Eric Kripke and Jensen Ackles and everything. So yeah. Um, but I'm also gonna be blow drying my hair, so mind the noise. This is gonna be a noisy video. I'm not a professional. I just do this for fun. Okay, but whatever. I guess I wanted to talk about season 1 of Supernatural just because season 1, in my opinion, was the best season. I remember I started watching that show when I was a kid in elementary school, and I thought that season 1 wasn't very good because it didn't have a lot of budget. Just realized that I didn't put heat protecting on, but I thought because it didn't have a lot of budget that it wasn't as good as the other ones. But watching it again now as an adult and not really caring about, like the CGI and stuff like that, because I care about the story. I read that season one is really the best season. I mean, that episode 3 is so good. Also, the episode of the ghost that they thought was like some type of lake monster, and it just turned out to be a little lower in the first. That was an amazing episode, and it was actually scary. And I just remembered that Supernatural used to be like a scary TV show. Like it was pretty scary in the beginning, and then it just ended up being more comedic, I guess. So that first season has a special place in my heart. This is exactly. And that was 66 episodes. Route 66 is episode I really like this one because a lot of people don't like that episode because it's one of the so famous. But I thought that Route 66 was art. Like it was a great episode, and doing um relationship with Cassie is also because interesting because it was the first time that they showed him having like a soft spot for a woman, and then you really see that was used that as well. But like he's not like Sam. He doesn't like open up everything. I feel he must have been in love with Cassie. I don't know, because I'm sure that was a little bit more Cassie Lee, but I still think that was a great episode. And also in season 1, the episode with the boy that has the powers that the psychic powers and telekinesis. Because the yellow-eyed demon that killed Dean and Sam's mom also killed his mom, and I guess like the yellow-eyed demon bled into that boy's mouth, gave him powers to try to make him into his like demon army, right? And so I thought like that whole premise or arc to me was just like really cool. And also I'm pretty sure like everyone has said this, but I wish they had done more with not Dean, Gilmore Girls, with Sam's powers. Just because like I don't know, I thought it was like such a cool idea to have this demon like giving powers to people because he wanted to raise an army. But then like not doing anything after that and like making him pretty easy to defeat. Just kind of I don't know, it kind of like threw it away for me. But I thought they did it in a good way. Like nevertheless, because I know they were short on time as well. Like they didn't know if the show was gonna keep going or not. But I would love to have. You know what? I'm gonna say something unpopular, but I would be totally down for a reboot and like have them get new actors and do it again, but like at a slower pace, and make it maybe just 3 seasons. Make it 3 seasons of Supernatural, and do like the original story. I feel like that would have been very cool, or even a book series of like what the story would have been like.
Like I'd be down to read that or like know about her.
Um, yeah. Now going back to the most hated season, I feel like everyone thinks that the Leviathan was the real season. A lot of people think that the British Men of Letters arc was the real season. Some people think that after Mary came back, I was going downhill from there. And to be honest, I was thinking about like the whole, I guess, like art or uh, important premise for each season. And it's interesting the way that they build up what's going to happen in the next season before that season starts. So like in season, let me see myself better. In season six, no, in season five. Okay. In season five, for example, we see that the show is basically an ending. And Sam and Dean, you know, they did the whole shopping the apocalypse. Sam goes to now and because Lucifer and he's not the doctor and blah blah blah. And the ship would stop there, so you can that there was not a lot to go on. But in season six, which he explains to Jack, that as he comes back without a soul. So that's like the first half of the season of season six is a being coming back without a soul. And in Charlie, the human that we had met before, and we know that is like smarter than the other demons, he took him to a tunnel because he's the personality of the cave. And I thought that was interesting as well. Because we had met Charlie before and we knew that he was smarter, so totally expected him to become the king as well. Right? And then Sam, not Sam, Castiel turning kind of evil and routine with Charlie. Also kind of makes sense because if you think about it, if you watch that season again, Castiel wasn't becoming evil. He just didn't want Raphael to win because now there's Michael wasn't in here anymore. The apostles took everything messy. So I feel like that made sense as well. And the second half of that season, the trope was um, Charlie, the purgatory, like not when purgatory opened. And then when purgatory does open, the Leviathans come out and that's set for season 7. And then in season 7, the whole thing is the Leviathan, and it deals with trauma and like getting over trauma. And I think that was an interesting season as well. So season 6 was kind of like about uh well, I mean, I think also was about trauma, but it was mostly about like getting abused, right? And how to deal with abuse and with loss. And season 7 is just like how to cope, I guess, or like going on after something traumatic happens. So I thought that was a pretty metaphor, I guess, the way that they went about this aspect. Um, and also Game Zones are just like really interesting political commentaries as well. And I feel like Kripke kind of, I guess, let that side of him show and season. Actually, throughout the whole show since the beginning, he always had some political commentary here and there. Again, Route 66 was a interesting point of like an interesting uh, way to see into the mind of his political views. But season 7 was also just like completely blatantly saying like, hey, the government of the US is doing this, this and that, you know? And I feel like that's what The Boys does as well. But not just like the political side, but the whole story and the way that they're written, I feel like in season 7, they're still them, you know? Like I watched it and I'm like, yeah, that's Sam and Dean, and I liked it, you know. And it was like, sure, like the Leviathans, it was like a weird monster or whatever, and like the CGI wasn't great, but I thought it was a good storyline. I thought obviously I didn't want Bobby to die, and I would have liked to see more of Castiel, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people didn't like it because they wanted to see more of Castiel. But the writing, the storytelling, and the dynamics between the brothers, that was true to Supernatural in season 7. I really do believe it was true to Supernatural. And going back to like how we season sets up for the next season and after that, so we know that in season 5 and as a whole, the people are predatory the whole season, and then season 6 has to do with the monster of purgatory, and season 7 has to do with being back in purgatory and having made a friend there. And uh, yeah, that's season 8. Yeah, and then season 9 has to do with like more stuff that came from before. I think season 10 is when Dean becomes a demon, which again, usually the demon makes so much sense because he was turning into one in season 3, like when he went to hell. I remember like when he came back from hell, and then he was telling Dean about how he began torturing people and all, and he was saying that he could feel himself becoming the demon. So it's really interesting how after season 9 went down and he became a demon to be Charlie Carlton. Charlie Carlton used to be said out of season 9. Open your eyes and become what you were always meant to become. I mean, him becoming a demon because that's what he was becoming when he was in hell. Right? And so then season 10, he stopped becoming not a demon anymore. But there's darkness trapping him. That darkness was harvested in the mark of change. And that's more biblical as well. But the mark of change gets placed into his arm, and that's really darkness he can do in the demon, I guess, kind of manifest itself. And then in season 12, that darkness becomes unleashed, manifests itself into the vessel, or into a line of form, which is Amara, because before the return to the darkness in the Bible, and that's God's sister. And you can see what you want, like, oh, God having a sister is weird, like, everything makes sense. But it's like, I kind of get it. Like, when Cain killed his brother Abel, he had to bear that sin, that darkness that humanity had for the first time. And it's interesting in the Bible, when God is creating the world and creating man, it's like that we're taking, right? I guess in the Bible, so before that, and so, they were start. I mean, I thought it was a cute parallel. I thought it was interesting. And again, it kind of makes sense with how the way the story was progressing. Like, it was like one step to another to another. And that's where I think it ended. In season 12, when they defeated the darkness, that for me should have been the end. Just because, maybe wrap it up a little bit, but that could have been the end. I didn't feel like there was going anywhere from there. I don't think there was more to it. I don't think you can do anything more after having defeated what seemed so like good before God. If we're talking about the fact that, like, we can watch the show over and over again, and you see Easter eggs and things that are going to come up in later seasons, but that ends with season 12. What comes in, like, the topics from season 13, 14, 15, they never come up before. They don't have that, like, that was never mentioned before Easter eggs, it was foreshadowed. And so that's why I think it should have ended with season 12. However, we're watching the show, and notice a huge change in the characters of Sam and Dean. And that's when I had to stop rewatching it. It's when I got to season 8. Because when I got to season 8, and I see Dean coming up to the who is funny, I'm like, oh yeah, it's funny. I remember liking Ben the Vampire. But, like, the way that Sam acted when Dean came back and she never looked at him, he still out of character. Okay, so that was third. Dean like, oh, also, it was crazy because Sam had a girlfriend and a dog, and he was like living life and not having anyone, and Dean has the audacity to get mad at him. And for some reason, they never ever mentioned Lisa and Ben. They never mentioned Lisa and Ben. And that was just a huge topic. The fact that when Sam went to the cave, Dean moved on with Lisa and Ben. Of course, Dean worked for Sam first. But when Dean is doing that chance and having you gone not mention things, Sam never tells him that
he moved on with Lisa and Ben. However, Dean does tell him that when Sam was in the cage, that he looked for him relentlessly. And that was the same time. So the same time that he was looking for Sam was the same time that he decided to settle down with Lisa. So that time isn't erased. They just decided not to mention Lisa for some reason, which is like, what? I don't know. But again, the dynamic between Sam and Dean, they weren't acting like themselves. That's what bothered me the most. They just didn't seem like themselves. It was like I was watching the actors play different characters. And then I was like, what is going on with season 8? Like, people get so mad at season 7 and say they don't like it. And although season 8 has its gems, like, I kind of like Castiel being in the mental asylum. Um, it was just, I just didn't like the way that they were written. And so I looked it up and I'm like, why are they acting this way?
Why aren't they acting? Why aren't they acting like the Sam and Dean I know? And this is because the last season that Earth Kitty produced was season 7. Season 8 mom was from a different producer, like Earth Kitty was no longer involved. And I think that's why the essence of the characters kind of died. But let's say you guys think I'm wrong. That's just my opinion though. Yeah, I can't keep watching CNN. It'll keep making me annoyed. I started watching it again from season 1, and I'm like, hell yeah, even more than movie. It's so good. I started watching the Winchester, but I didn't like the Winchester, so I left it. I stopped watching it. I think I only watched 2 episodes. Let me know if I could watch more. But yeah, I guess it's was another show that came out that came by. I mean, I feel like Interview with the Vampire, the AMC show that came out totally recently, has a vibe that is like supernatural, but also has those dramatic moments that the supernatural show has. And I like that. Because, when I think when I think about supernatural, people think like, oh, you like the hot guys and the gossip elements. Because you much like Vampire Diaries and True Blood and what else is like Teen Wolf. And I'm like, I don't like Teen Wolf, but it's like, no, I don't like any of those. I don't like teen. I don't like drama shows, CW drama shows with some supernatural elements. Like that's not me. I just happen to like supernatural, and I don't necessarily love the genre. I just think that supernatural do it differently. So I was reading like the genre of supernatural. It was like teen teen drama show with supernatural twists, and it's like that's what people think when they think of the show. Because that's not what I thought at all. But I thought that Interview with the Vampire was very good. Again, that's not for everyone. It's probably going to reach a different demographic from the demographic that like supernatural, but I still like it. You know what's really funny? This is going to sound so funny, but a TV show that I watched as a kid at the same time as Supernatural, like in the same vibe and I really liked, was My Little Pony. And obviously no adult is going to watch My Little Pony. But I feel like My Little Pony, the magic of friendship, had like that interesting vibe where like the seasons connect with each other and there's a lot of foreshadowing and stuff and you can kind of like guess what's gonna happen before it happens. I guess that's why I feel like a kid. Another show that did that well was Doctor Who. Doctor Who did that very well. I think when I was a kid, there was also like these accounts that really like supernatural Doctor Who and the Sherlock Holmes show. But I never really got into the Sherlock Holmes show. I never watched it. Doctor Who, I only watched the Matt Smith and David Tennant seasons, and I thought that they were really good. I wasn't that diehard of a fan, but I thought they were really good. Especially the seasons with Amelia Pond. I think those were so good. But another show, if anyone wants to watch it, for some reason, I'm sorry, but I hate anime. I don't watch anime at all. But there's this one TV show that I watched as a kid that was on Amazon Prime. It was called Princess Tutu. And it was just really well written. Again, probably as an adult, I wouldn't think it was good at all because it's marketed for kids.
But if anyone else was a Princess Choo Choo fan and a Supernatural fan, comment below because you're my people. But yeah, oh my god, there's so much smoke in here, it's insane. Okay, well, I just fried my hair, but now it's straight. Yay. Anyways, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's all the opinions I have on Supernatural. Again, thank you, my 1 subscriber. And I know this video was very noisy and very chaotic, but thank you if you stood all the way through. Love you and good night.